long on the onside. And Namibia will be working hard to give themselves a fighting chance here. "11 off the over. We're just halfway."
Richard Ngaraba has been a little bit expensive. They want to do better. 18 runs conceded and only 1.4 overs that is bowled. That's not something that you associate Richard Ngaraba with in terms of figures.
Yeah, again in same fashion, but this time around, this protection, Zarabani on it. And only restrict them to a single.
Richard Ngaraba has struggled with his lines there, bowling to a left-hander. If you look at the balls that have been dispatched to the boundary, or the ones that they've been able line to bowl to him.
Yeah, drop and run here from Lofty Eaton. Just a lack of awareness. They could easily have come back for another one. But look at the Zimbabwe players. 4 of them chasing that ball that ricocheted from the stumps. That's 4 done. That's 32 for 1. Still an evenly poised power play, even though Namibia has lost Malan Krier.
Required run rates as 11.3 currently. They're doing at 7.7.
बचपन में हम पिगी बैंक में पैसा डालते थे सेव करने के लिए और पैसा वहीं पड़ा रहता था। पर ग्रो पे एसआईपी उन पैसों को सिर्फ रखता नहीं, काम पर लगाता है। यहाँ मंथली एक फिक्स अमाउंट पे आपके पैसे ऑटो इन्वेस्ट होते रहेंगे। और
you've lost a wicket earlier on, but there's still an opportunity to give yourself a chance. Up and over. And that'll be a good chase from Sekiwa. Struck well, but however, is not able really to parry that one back into field of play. That'll be a boundary. A welcome one for Namibia.
Yeah, a good start here to the 5th for Namibia. And a cool Lofty Eaton. Fees on width. There's a decent chase though to the boundary. And just in that last moment, fell to push it back to Sikandar Raza.
Yeah, disappointing after doing all that hard work. Playing his shots. As Lofty Eaton. Really is not timing it from the middle of the bat, but I understand the type of play that he's trying to employ. He's trying to be a little bit more aggressive towards Blessing Zarabani and try and hit him out of his rhythm. Man, that's such a difficult thing to do, considering the height of Blessing Zarabani, the bounce that he's been able to extract from the surface.
And this one is hit hard, it's hit straight. But it just makes it to the boundary. It was a good chase here from Sikandar Raza. And you're right earlier when you said that Lofty Eaton is just trying to get Zarabani out of his rhythm.
Yeah, valiant chase from Sikandar Raza. Just ran out of steam towards that rough and pitch area, that practice area, those grass nets. Goes again. That'll be another one. Everybody stands still. That'll be 4. It just shows you the power that Nicole Lofty Eaton possesses there. Save your legs, everybody. It's been a good over, this one for Namibia. 3 boundaries, 2 consecutive 4s. And they're playing positive cricket, you would say, here in Namibia, asserting themselves. They're really giving themselves a chance here.
Yeah, you can see a lot of chat going on in the Zimbabwean team. Already a lot of field changes. Money comes in, and Garava goes to the boundary at fine leg.
Really get the hands through the ball, and he's got a boundary early in this over, so the pressure is on Evans. Once
Current run rate for Namibia just under 10, 9.6 required, just under 11 at 10.9. They have really been up there, matching what's required to the target that they're facing of 212.
Use his feet. He didn't quite find the middle of the bat, but the outfield at Queens is really left in it.
Yeah, we've seen this in this innings quite a lot now for Nicole Lofty-Eaton. Quite a number of runs, not really coming from the middle of the bat, but he's been able to get boundaries, utilizing those fielding restrictions inside the power play. Only two fielders allowed outside that 30-yard circle, and he's made great use of that.
This is the last over in the power play. He wants a few boundaries. He wanted a few boundaries in this over. He's got 8 runs so far. Ideally, a 4 or a maximum to close this one off would be the perfect conclusion to this power play. And then
Subscribe, guys.
Namibia have to start to believe they can do this run chase. Picks him up. 1 bounce, 2 bounces into the fence, and it's 12 from the first Brad Evans over. And it is 61 for 1 after the power play.
Now that was a well-timed shot. Nicole Lofty-Eaton moves into 30 from 16. Just shows you these Namibian batters playing confidently, playing according to their beliefs and attributes that they possess. Very powerful when it comes to anything that is pitched fuller. And they're not afraid to play their shots. They're not afraid to take chances. Yes, they have had some fortuitous runs that have come their way, some through thick outside edges, but they will take them all the way.
So it's Brian Bennett is going to take the first over out of the power play. And generally, this is where Zimbabwe have been very, very good. They've got a couple of very good fielders in the outfield. And then it's the use of the bowlers around Sikandar Raza, who's key in this little period of play. And that's in the air for a little bit, but it runs out to Tashingam Sekiwa, one of the key fielders mentioned earlier. He does a lot of the hard work in the outfield. Ryan Pearl does some of the hard work as well. And then Tadiwa Nashimarumani, when he's not keeping, he's a very, very good fielder. He's quick across the ground and has a good arm. Ah, that's beautiful. Little shimmy away to the leg side, hitting with the spin against the off spinner.
Yeah, it's a marvelous cricket shot. Gave himself room leg side in order to access that offside. It's a longer side of the boundary, that offside region that he's looking at. But he was able just to have enough the contact and power behind that ball to access it. And he reaps the reward with the boundary.
He's gone again, but this time Ryan Pearl anticipates a lot better. He was running away to his right as soon as Lofty Eaton moved away towards the leg side. And that is great. And
now backing his abilities there, Lofty. Down the track. Doesn't really time it well. He was looking to play it straight, but only manages to find Ryan Bell, who's in that long off position.
just want to point out the way Nicol Lofty Eaton is hitting over extra cover. He's not trying to overhit it. That is why he's been so successful so far in this innings. He's really keeping a very good shape, looking for timing over power and placement to go with the timing.
Not going for the reverse, doesn't get it. And it's a good over. 9 runs off it. And it'll be the end of the 7th. And it'll be Namibia 70 for 1 after 7.
Is at the top, and then you start to go downhill from 11 onwards. Every over that you don't get exactly the run requires, it's amazing how quickly it adds up. And then the introduction of Sikandar Raza. This is generally what he does very well, is bring control to opposition run chasers, just pegs them back, doesn't need.
Pierces through the offside. Sweeper will clean that. That's a big pocket. They pick up 2 comfortable. To 1. Sikandar Raza provides that breakthrough that Zimbabwe were looking for. A slightly quicker delivery, flatter projection. Now misses that one totally. Now was Jan Freiling, and is found leg before wicket.
Yeah, there it is. It is the carom ball from Sikandar Raza. So it was going the other way as it pitched on off stump, carrying on to hit leg stump. Important ability to take wickets consistently for Zimbabwe, as Namibia are 74 for 2.
Now, this is what we spoke about when we say that a little bit of pressure in terms of restricting the run flow, the traditional trajectory in which they've been scoring runs. They decided to access the leg side, and in the attempt to do that, it was something that was out of character, and it resulted in that wicket. Sikandar Raza.
I'm going to point out the bottom right of your screen. It's 2-1-1 dot. That's what takes the wickets, is that no boundaries early in that over. And suddenly the pressure is on Namibia. 4th best all-rounder in T20 international cricket, Sikandar Raza. And number 1 in 50 overs in the ratings for all-rounders. So has some skill set to put on display this afternoon.
I love the use of some skill set.
That's 8 overs gone. 74 for 2.
Well, many might be asking, why was this a morning game? It's largely attributed that when we have T20 cricket in Zimbabwe, played late in the afternoon. But T20 World Cup qualifiers on. In just roughly nearly 2 weeks' time, there'll be plenty of morning games as well. So you need to put yourself in those kind of similar conditions that you will play early morning and see how you will do in those conditions.
It's a different type of game, isn't it, when you're batting first, but in particular in the morning. You have to give the early part of the power play to the opponents. More about running well, dabbing and running well early on, playing slightly more traditional cricket shots, and then once you've got the pace of the wicket. Well, that is a good one. Oh no, it isn't. Richard Ngarama has moved very, very well for a big man to take the third wicket that falls.
Well, one wickets, a magnificent catch from Richard Ngarama. Nicole Lofty-Eaton trying to heave that one leg side, finds a well-placed short fine leg in Richard Ngarama. Wellington Masakadza strikes. Namibia will be 74 for the loss of 3.
What they've done here as well is they've lost 2 wickets without adding to their score. And when you've got a big run chase, it's losing wickets in clusters is the most difficult thing to recover from. Captain is out there. And he's joined by Zane Green, the wicketkeeper batter. So, real opportunity, this crisis, to get out there and find the winning partnership.
Plays it straight down to long off. President Zalabani is operating. Sikandar Raza, the man in your picture, as we see him just changing sides. I think that when he brought himself into the attack, that was the turnaround of things. He slowed down the scoring rate of Namibia. Making opportunities have presented themselves.
It's actually funny how through this inning so far, Namibia have gotten a boundary in the first 2 deliveries of every over, up until the introduction of Sikandar Raza, and then 2 wickets fall immediately. Yes, some of them were off the outside edge, off top edges, but it was always a boundary early in the over, so you know you're going to get close to 10 runs in an over without really trying. But Masakadza as well has done well. Just 3 runs from this over, and a very important wicket as well. 77 for 3.
The betting card so far for Namibia. Milan Kruger went for 13, Jan Freiling 21. Nicole Lofty-Eaton was looking very dangerous, 38 from 24. Was quite explosive in striking room. 2 fairly new batters out there. Now they need to come up with a partnership and a formula for chasing this mammoth task of 212.
And what they've also got to do is they can't allow Zimbabwe to get through a couple of overs without any boundaries. 3-4 overs without boundaries here. Just dot balls and a lot of singles. Suddenly the run rate's going to shoot up. Another dot ball from Sikandar Raza.
Every dot ball will matter. Well, he's having an early lunch. Looks like a chef, though.
How many chilies were in that bowl? 3 or 4 really big chilies in that red bowl. Here we go.
1, 2, 3. I count 3. Can you make out that dish?
I don't know. That's one of those to each his own. Whenever you see chilies going into a dish that small, for just one person, it's an acquired taste. But Skandaraz is doing a good job here.
A superb job. He's into his second over. A wicket to his name. And so far, only 7 runs given away. And boundaries have been hard to come by, but this time they find one, despite the effort from Tashikam Sekiwa. Now, he really did the hard work on that one, but was not able to keep it into the field of play.
Yeah, he's gotten such a good position to get the power through the shot, but wasn't able to keep it in play. Then that boundary allows him to stroke it down to long off for the single, carrying in the right direction for Namibia again. Paid from that over, 85 for 3. .96 for Brian Bennett. Sets up a big total for Zimbabwe, but they've still got to try and defend it. All that.
Nicely played. Just uses the pace of the delivery. Gerrit Rasmus. What's very apparent is that this has turned out to be a very good batting track. It didn't look like it would be too far apart from that. You just feel that the decision from Namibia to bowl first is more from a case of not sure what to expect here at the Queen Sports Club.
As yet, Queen Sports Club. Suits Wellington Masakadza perfectly fine. Has bowled here on many occasions and understands what is available to him. His very subtle changes in pace, in his length. Generally uses the angle at left-handers from around the wicket to try and take away strikes into the leg side. And has a plan.
Masakadza coming back into the Zimbabwe side after a while, suffering from injury. He's been quite good so far. A couple of boundaries in his first over, but he's brought himself back into contention quite nicely. A couple of balls to go in his third over, 1 to go in his third over now, and just 4 runs from it. So crucial, Darlington, isn't it, for somebody who's been out to get back into the team and to perform very quickly, just so that sense of belonging comes back.
It's also so critical the point he's come in. The partnership he plays with Skandaraz in these middle overs has been reason why Zimbabwe get into very good positions regularly in T20 internationals, because they get through these overs very, very quickly. You look up and 5 overs are gone. 91 for 3.
I'll test your general knowledge. Eli tells me that the big trees to our far right there are a bunch of fig trees. Do you know what that is?
I'd like to think it's a flamboyant of some sort. It's just a little early in the season. Does it have big red flowers?
Well, I can't see from here.
Well, it's gonna have big red flowers probably in October.
Oh, what a great answer!
As it starts to seed,
I can't argue
just
with
before
that.
the rainy season. But I get the feeling it's a flamboyant. Those are Cape figs, that I know. Google is wonderful.
Yeah, they add to the beautification and the aesthetics of this Queen Sports Club. Such a wonderful venue.
Best time of the year to be under those trees is in the summer in Zimbabwe. Coolest place in the ground. There's generally a breeze that blows from the eastern end of the ground. Well, that is a great shot from the Namibian captain. Well, he's got it straight as a die. He gets his first maximum.
Yeah, just gives himself a bit of room, and he strikes this nicely. Back over Raz's head. You could tell Raz's reaction straight away. He knew that he's got all of this one. He'll be the danger man for Zimbabwe. The captain.
He's looked unfazed, hasn't he? Just walked in, took his couple of deliveries to get off the mark, and then played a really authoritative back foot square drive off Sikandar Raza to get his first boundary. Um, 19 from just 13.
Good running. This was the other thing we saw in the Zimbabwean innings. Yes, they managed to get boundaries after assessing the pitch and understanding how they can go about playing the big shots, but that the
Future option. We've got it. Precision tools, real-time insights in one single.
Brings up the 100 with that too. And what they've also done is they've maintained a good tempo despite losing 3 wickets. Very similar to where Zimbabwe were after 12 at 102 for 3. Well, this is good captaincy, in my humble opinion, from Sikandar Raza. He's getting Wellington Masakadza, who's been out for a while, to just bowl through his 4. The ball is the last one. He's been good. Just 16 runs and a wicket from his bowling so far. That's all.
in as much as, yes, these 3 matches for Zimbabwe and Namibia are crucial. They want to win this. They want to go into the qualifiers with as much momentum as possible. These 2 squads are the 2 that will take part in that qualifier. But as you say, for somebody like Wellington Masakadza who's been out, he's got to get through his 4 overs in all 3 matches, because this is the only amount of game time he's got leading into those important qualifiers. And you'd like to test him as much as possible as well.
Well, that's cut away. This is beautiful from Herald Erasmus. He's just allowed it to come onto him. And really, really soft hands to get that deft touch behind square. He moves to 23 from 15. Just a cool period in a run chase for any bowlers. But the brass band is keeping things lively at Queen Sports Club.
It can only be in the city of kings and queens. That kind of enjoyment on a Monday morning at a cricket match. Lovely to see. You can expect tomorrow and Thursday, when you got afternoon matches, to have some bigger crowds and a lot more enjoyment for them.
Any local on our commentary panel, Eli Tabire B says, kings and queens don't work on Monday mornings.
I guess those are the kings and queens he's talking about. I think we'll find that tomorrow and Thursday afternoon especially, maybe no kings and queens work on those days.
Setting up to be an absolute thriller. Games between Namibia and Zimbabwe are always close and exciting. 110 for 3. Raza beginning his final over. He's gone again. It's going to take some catching. It's going to need something spectacular. Dion Myers can't catch up to it. But this time he's gone a little flatter when Erasmus has given himself a little bit of room outside leg stump.
Just had enough on it to elude Dion Myers, who's one of the quicker Zimbabwean fielders. Disappointed Raza, but it was difficult with the spin. Zane Green looking to go through extra, but with the extra spin from Raza, that one just running away from the backward point fielder. And that rate now getting close to 15.
Oh, that is a great response from Zane Green. Didn't need to get it in the middle of the bat because the outfield here is so quick, but it is clearing the two fielders behind square on the offside. That was the most important fact there.
Calculated from Zane Green. And he's picked the right ball to play the shot to. Got himself into position early. It was high up on the bat, but enough on it to get to the boundary.
Now this is that end of the game where every over behind the required run rate really hurts. And then you need to need really spectacular overs mixed into runs, overs at the required. But this has gone straight up, and it's Wellington Masakadza who's underneath it, and he's done well. It nearly got away from him, but he was so beautifully balanced and watched it well. He was able to hold on to it. And it is the captain, Erasmus, who goes for 26 from 19. Namibia in some trouble here. 118 for 4.
It's the arm ball from Raza, and that's why he's got the leading edge. It just shaped back away from the right-hander. He's one of the best catchers of a high ball in the Zimbabwean team, Masakadza. He won't pass up an opportunity like that. Namibia, 118 for 4.
Highly operator, Sikandar Raza. Really the player you want to be needing a couple of boundaries and an over from. And he's taken a wicket as a result. 14 overs gone. 118 for 4. Well, if something is working, why change it? I think is the thinking from Sikandar Raza here. His spinners have really pushed that required run rate up to nearly 16. So Ryan Pearl is going to get a ball. That's gone against the turn. He's done well to get it down there. But Blessing Zarabani is able to keep it down to just one.
He's shown the propensity to just give himself room and look to go that extra cover region up and over Zane Green. So good to see that Zarabani at a long off is wide. Ryan Pearl gets an opportunity. And what a role he could play in the upcoming qualifiers for Zimbabwe.
Yeah, looked in really good touch with bat. 22 from just 9 in his little cameo. Really accelerated the back end of the Zimbabwean innings. And he's going to have a ball here at a critical moment. He can get through this over quickly and cheaply.
Yeah, that rate now getting out of hand. It's above 16.
Well, that is what beautifully struck. Well, no, not really. It wasn't beautifully struck. That wasn't off the middle. Just from up here, it looked like it had gone all the way. And it was some pretty indifferent fielding from Zarabani allows the boundary.
I think what he thought was there was going to be a bit more bounce and the ball would get to him a lot sooner. It looks like he's timed his jump wrong. Yeah, have a look at that. The ball's just slowed down and it's hit the ground.
And this time he finds the extra cover boundary. Two very important boundaries for Namibia here. But I'm going to need another one. And ideally, it has to be the maximum.
Zane Green keeps giving himself room to the leg side so he can play those kind of strokes. Zimbabwean bowler's got to be aware of that.
That's 15 gone. 11 from that Ryan Pearl over. 129 for 4. Wonderful area in at Queen Sports Club to have a beverage. A few shady spots around. That is where the brass band has kept us alive and excited. As Namibia need 83 from 5 overs to win this match. Brad Evans is back into the attack. Wonderful shot again from Zane Green. Greets Brad Evans with a boundary. Cheeky reverse sweep.
It's given as a no boy as well. Brad Evans a foot fault. So that's 5 runs here for Namibia, and it's a free hit.
Zimbabwe has been having some concerns about the last 5 overs. There's been a couple of times where they've been in control of games and been expensive. And that is should just be 1 run. Ryan Pearl runs in from long on.
Yeah, Green not really making full use of that opportunity of a free hit.
JJ Smith just getting started. Hasn't found a boundary yet in his innings. Just 2 deliveries.
Good work of race here from Smith. They'll settle for a single. But Darlington here, or Namibia, whichever way this match goes, Namibia shot some great signs in how they've been explosive, especially through Lofty Eaton and Jan Freiling right up at the top. Chasing 200, they brought a lot of intensity. And there still is just about 5 overs remaining.
If I have to be really critical, it was the period where they lost 2 wickets. Losing wickets in clusters with big run chases, very difficult to recover from that. What that means is now when you split the runs required, 35 from 27, 36, 76 from 28 is easier, because that means 38 from 14 for each player who is coming in. And that's not going all the way. Tadiwa Nashimarumani juggles it first, but it's into those deep pockets towards backward square leg and cow corner. When you're batting as a right-hander, very long boundaries, long way to clear those, and JJ Smith's not able to do so.
No, it's all trouble now for Namibia. And just coming to the back of me, praising on how they pitched up in the intensity. JJ Smith. There's a saying that goes in Namibia, if Smith sees it, he hits it. However, on this occasion, not really getting full wheel to that one. And Marumani doing the work in the deep. And you mentioned earlier about these pockets on this field.
Very difficult to clear the boundaries there. You've got to get absolutely perfect contact when you're hitting towards backward square leg, over extra cover if you're right-handed or left-handed, and towards cow corner, because to deepen into corners in those directions, and so it can be very difficult to clear the boundary in those areas.
Yeah, the demise of JJ Smith brings in Ruben Trumpelman. Also an experienced all-rounder. I've mentioned it before that he's been hitting the ball quite well lately. Performed really well with the bat in Canada.
I was wondering, see Brendan Taylor, who's keeping today, signaling towards his head to Brad Evans. It was clearly a signal to Brad Evans. Wondering if he was saying, hit him with the bouncer roller.
Of course, a lot of experience from Brendan Taylor. One more to go. And it's to the Ian man, Zane Green.
for Marumani. Just keeps it down to 2, but that required run rate, just when you sat down to join me in this commentary stint, was around 15. Now it's gone to 18. Every single over that you don't get near or beyond 18, it just accelerates away from Namibia.
Yeah, haven't said that. 16 down, 140 for 5. Zane Green right now is the eat man, but he needs the support of course, Erasmus and Smith couldn't really help him much. And of course, Namibia losing that all-important wicket that was shaping this game to be an interesting one and putting pressure on Zimbabwe. Yannico Lofty-Eaton. 72 required from 24 deliveries. And a required run rate of 18. Green has to fire.
Into the attack. Looking to go into the wicket. Can be a really effective delivery when it's coming from 6'8".
Yeah, interesting field sits here from Sikandar Raza. Now this one goes way wide here from Zarabani. Let's look at
Yeah, another change in the field. Brad Evans on the third-man boundary. He's brought up into the circle. And Wellington Masakadza sent along off, which suggests that we're going to see a few more inside the block hole now. Lot Fuller is the target for Zarabani. There we go, but that's into the slot. That's not the block hole. And the big lad, Ruben Trumpelman, smashes this one out the ground.
it's full, it's straight. It's in Trumpelman's arc. He hits it. It goes through that little gap on the field, bounces once, and it goes outside this stadium. And that just goes also to show you how competitive Namibia can be. And no matter what happens today, I think Namibia will be happy with their performance. For Zimbabwe, not really sure if they would have ticked all the boxes, especially with their strike bowlers.
No, I have to agree with you. I don't think that Listing Zarabani is the kind of bowler who, at this stage of the game, should be 1 for 29 from 2.2. That's more than 10 runs and over. Really worrisome form for Zimbabwe's premier fast bowler. Just a few weeks away from their first qualifying match.
And you hit a very good point there. Just a couple of days away from the ICC Men's T20 World Cup qualifiers. And if your strike bowler is 29 from a couple of these deliveries from 2.2 overs, if now there's something more to play for and there's pressure, quality side like Uganda might cause problems. A much better year from Zarabani.
He's changed the line. He's gone a little wider this time, trying to stay away from Ruben Trumpelman's hit zone. Went for the Yorker into the line of the stumps, got smashed out the ground, so probably not going to repeat that. But the Yorker, about a foot outside the line of the off stump, seems to be the best option for Zarabani.
Yeah, nice and hard, only a single to the skipper. It also just goes to show you how well that Namibian batting lineup is structured. You still have Volsking to come in. Still have Banner's calls to come in. And yes, they require 64 from 20 deliveries.
But just the names you've mentioned just says 64 from 20 is very achievable, particularly if the Zimbabwean bowlers don't get it right.
Yeah, misses out on that one, Green. And I think looking at this match,
powered answer engine.
but also looking at Namibia, I think Erasmus will slightly regret that decision of winning the toss and bowling first.
Yeah, and it's the idea that there are no flat wickets. There's only flat performances, and I think we've seen a flat performance from the Zimbabwean seamers in particular today. Yes, the wicket is flat. Yes, it's been good for batting on, but you've still got to find a way through. 17 gone, 150 for 5.
Yeah, it's 150 up here for Namibia. I think there's lots of and of course a couple of pointers here for both bowling units. Will there be key differences in the playing surfaces and playing conditions we're experiencing right here at Queen Sports Club, and let's say
Generally, Harare Sports Club is the quickest wicket of the ones that international cricket has played on in Zimbabwe. There's been a lot of maintenance done at Takashinga because in preparation for the fact that they're been assured by Sam Matambanadzo, who is actually the groundsman at Harare Sports Club, head groundsman, oversees all the grounds that international cricket is played on. And he was at Takashinga while I was there on Saturday for just a couple of drinks. And Trumpelman has gone again. This time, not so dramatic an outcome, just the boundary.
yeah, I mentioned earlier that he's been hitting it really well, but going back to a conversation you're narrating to us about the conditions and the surfaces in Harare.
I think that generally we're going to see a little bit quicker than they were the last time we had World Cup qualifiers here. And it's also because it's early season. We've just come out of our winter, and they haven't had that consistent heat that drops your water level all the way down.
Oh, picked up here, Ruben Trumpelman in his fashion. Yeah, Richard Ngarava, all they can do now is just look on. The big bully, as they call him, Ruben Trumpelman. He likes it full, he likes it straight.
I'm seeing, yeah, exactly. I was about to say, I'm seeing a trend here. You get it outside the off stump, he's not as devastating. But if you get it into the line of the stumps, he's almost waiting for you to bowl into the stump. Trust. Those big, strong forearms. And very, very still at contact is the other thing he does very well. That's a mishit. It's going to fall into...
Outside off stump, he hasn't really scored much from that.
We haven't seen a change of pace either from Ngarava or Mzarabani at Trumpelman, but I think that's also a good idea.
ओ दारा मोटू भैया की
There it is again, and this is also a mishit. It's Ryan Byrne who's underneath it, and in his own very unique way, he takes a straightforward catch
हाँ
to make it 162 for 6.
That's that change of pace you were talking about. It's almost sort of like you heard you. Ngarava picks up his first wicket. It was just the player who was getting going. And it's just that outside off stump line we were talking about. It works out here in the favor of
drier as well. And probably take a little bit more turn.
Yeah, swing and a miss here for the youngster. I think he's coming here where there's a lot of pressure, doesn't know what to do. 18 done, 163 for 6. The last 2 overs are important. They set the tone.
Zane Green would join a list of some very illustrious cricketers if he's cricketers in the history of T20 have been able to find 50 runs from 2 overs, especially under the pressure of being 6 down.
Not entirely impossible. .49 from the last 2 overs. This one carries through from Zarabani. This one carries from Zarabani. And the demise of Green brings in another exciting youngster, exciting talent here from Namibia. Alexander Volshank to join Elijah. They've got 10 deliveries to express themselves and to show that they belong at this level of cricket.
The biggest problem with Zarabani bowling from way over 6'8" is he's very difficult to hit.
It's a boundary once again for Namibia. You'd contextualize this as a decent fight from Namibia?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be very interesting in the second T20. And that is because sure, the discussion in the change room is, yes, probably going to lose by about 30, 25, maybe 30 runs from this position. But what we did do is that in the first half of the game, we were keeping up with what we'd been said by Zimbabwe. It was 2 wickets we lost in part. The concept of losing 2 wickets quickly set us back a long way.
He gets out of it again. There's a man out there in the deep. He only settled for a single. Elijah.
Definitely going to be some positives to take from this one. And also is to find a way to not let Raza and Masakadza dominate that period after 10. Really, really important to make sure finding a boundary every over from Masakadza and from Raza.
Brad Evans to take the last one. Yeah, the 2 youngsters here from Namibia have an opportunity to show some fight in them. If we're facing a quality bowler like Brad Evans, you need to show up. It's a full twist to start off with. Doesn't get much to it. That's it up. Pepe puts it down. Probably the easiest of catches you will get in T20 cricket. But it so happens that Sikandar Raza
अरे ले जाना
puts that one down.
Yeah, he's going to be so disappointed with himself. Yes, he prides himself on the quality of his fielding, so he's going to be disappointed.
लाओ तो ऊपर बस एक दो दुए की साइकिल कर ली
Just some slight extra bounds.
नीचे ले जा बेटा सुखिया तू पड़ जाएगी वो भी पड़ जाएगा वो ले जा जस्ट सुन लिया कर
Garava.
Should just be the single with one ball left in this first T20 international. Economical. Just the one wicket for him. His 2.5 have gone for 26. And there we have the first T20 international between Zimbabwe and Namibia. Namibia won the toss and inserted Zimbabwe, and then a partnership of 124 for the first wicket between Marumani, who scored 62 from 48, and Brian Bennett, who got his highest T20 international score, 94 from just 51. Set up 211 for 3. And then in response, Namibia were 177 for 7.
Yeah, 33-run win here for Zimbabwe. I think Zimbabwe will be happy to take the win, as well as take a few key lessons from this. Namibia as well have showed some good fight. The youngsters putting their hands up and kept the fight. Milan Krier, 13 from 13 deliveries. And it was the partnership of Frylink and Lofty Eaton that resuscitated this run chase. And Frylink had to go Erasmus, 26 from 19. But J.J. Smith